Ask yourself a question right now. How much of your life are you wasting? Think about the hours you spend on Instagram, Facebook, scrolling endlessly, watching clips that don't add value to your soul, filling your mind with things that won't matter tomorrow, let alone on the day of judgment. Deep down, your heart whispers to you every single day, this isn't what you were created for. You know the truth. You know you are wasting precious time. You know you are surrounding yourself with people who are pulling you away from Allah instead of closer to Him. But what do most of us do? We silence that inner voice. We ignore the truth. We push it away because facing it is uncomfortable. The truth is simple yet powerful. Life is short. Every moment you waste, every distraction you indulge in, every wrong friend you keep, it's stealing a piece of your hereafter. Allah blessed you with life, with time, with opportunities. Yet how much of it do you throw away as if it has no worth? Imagine standing before Allah one day and realizing that the truth was always clear, but you ignored it. You knew social media could destroy your focus, yet you kept scrolling. You knew bad company was destroying your character, yet you stayed with them. You knew the Quran was the real cure, yet you kept neglecting it. This video is your reminder, your wake-up call. Stop ignoring the truth. Stop living in denial. Because every second counts, and the longer you keep pushing away reality, the deeper you fall into a life of regret. The time to change is not tomorrow. The time is now. The truth is clear. Will you face it or keep running away? Have you ever stopped and asked yourself how many hours of your life you have given away to a glowing screen, scrolling through endless feeds that never seem to end? Instagram Reels, Facebook stories, viral clips, they are designed to keep you hooked, to make you lose track of time, to make you feel like you are consuming something important, when in reality, your minutes, your hours, and sometimes even your days are being stolen. Social media is like a fire. It can warm you if used correctly, but it can also burn your entire house down if left unchecked. The shocking reality is that most people don't even realize how addicted they are until they look up from their phone and discover that half their day has slipped away without a single meaningful action accomplished. And the saddest part is, the time you waste doesn't just vanish. It gets written in your book of deeds. Every moment that could have been spent in dhikr, in salah, in reading Quran, in learning, in helping your family, in building your future, it is all replaced by useless swipes, empty laughs, and meaningless distractions. The truth is that social media is not evil by itself. In fact, it can be a tool of immense benefit, a platform of knowledge, a place of dawah, a source of connection with good reminders. But the way most of us use it has become a trap, a subtle, silent thief of time that eats away at our productivity, our focus, and even our iman. You see, your heart and your soul are always whispering to you when you waste time. This is not who you are. This is not what you were created for. Deep down, you know that hours of scrolling leave you feeling more empty than fulfilled, more restless than satisfied, more distant from Allah than closer to Him. Social media has become the modern-day tool of shaitan, not because of the platforms themselves, but because of how they are used to feed your desires, to distract your mind, to numb your heart. Every minute you give to it without purpose is a minute stolen from your hereafter. And if you truly pause to think about it, you would realize that you could have used the same platforms to learn something beneficial, to share a reminder, to inspire someone to pray, to listen to a lecture that changes your life, to connect with people who bring you closer to Allah. But instead, most of us choose to follow influencers who promote lifestyles far away from the deen, to consume gossip that darkens the heart, to watch content that poisons the soul. And it's not just about wasting time. It's about what those endless videos do to your spiritual state, how they reprogram your brain to constantly seek dopamine, how they make silence feel unbearable, how they rob you of the ability to sit in stillness and remember Allah. Before you know it, Salah feels heavy, Quran feels boring, Duh feels distant, because your heart has been trained to crave the constant stimulation of a screen. And this is where the real danger lies, not just in the hours lost, but in the state of your heart, in the weakening of your connection with Allah, in the neglect of your soul's needs. Because your soul was not created to consume endless entertainment. Your soul was created to worship Allah, to seek purpose, to strive for Jannah. Yet every time you ignore that calling and choose scrolling instead, you are ignoring the truth that your heart is crying out for. And while it feels harmless in the moment, those wasted hours pile up, those wasted days turn into wasted years, until one day you wake up and realize that life has passed you by and nothing meaningful was achieved. And the truth is, when you stand before Allah on the day of judgment, He will ask you about your time, how you spent it, what you did with it, what you allowed your eyes to see, what you allowed your ears to hear, what you allowed your heart to absorb. Social media will not come to defend you. It will stand as a witness against you. And yet, at the same time, if you shift your mindset and use it wisely, it can become a witness for you. Because that same phone you use for hours of meaningless scrolling can also become a tool of light, a means of spreading guidance, a way of reminding yourself and others about Allah. Allah, a platform where you turn wasted minutes into moments of reward. But the choice is always in your hands, and the truth is always clear. Will you let it control you, or will you control it? If you think about it carefully, the very same device that distracts you could also transform you. The very platform that drags your heart away from Allah could be the same tool that brings you closer to Him. It all comes down to how you choose to use it. Social media is like a mirror of your soul. The accounts you follow, the videos you watch, the posts you engage with, all of it reflects what you allow into your heart. If your feed is full of gossip, entertainment, music, and sinful content, then it's no surprise that your heart feels heavy, your salah feels distant, your Quran feels neglected. But if you make the conscious choice to purify your feed, to fill it with Islamic reminders, Quranic recitations, motivational talks, and beneficial knowledge, then every time you open your phone, you will be reminded of Allah, you will be reminded of your purpose. You will be reminded of what truly matters. Imagine the difference between two people. One spends 2 hours on Instagram watching random reels that give him nothing but temporary laughs, while the other spends 2 hours listening to reminders that soften his heart, learning something new about his deen, and even sharing posts that inspire others. On the surface, both spend time online, but in reality, their outcomes are worlds apart. One wasted his life, the other invested in his hereafter. This is the power of choice, and this is the truth most people ignore. Social media can be your downfall, but it can also be your ladder to Jannah if you use it wisely. The Prophet warned us that every blessing will be questioned, and in today's age, one of the greatest blessings you will be questioned about is how you used your phone. Did you use it to spread good, or did you use it to waste away your hours? Did you use it to inspire others, or did you use it to fill your heart with sin? Sometimes the smallest change makes the biggest difference. Unfollowing accounts that harm your iman, following accounts that uplift your soul, setting time limits, using your platforms as a way of dawah, even if it's just sharing a verse, a reminder, or a short dua. You never know whose heart might be touched by something you post. And imagine standing before Allah and seeing mountains of rewards simply because one small reminder you shared led someone to pray, led someone to change, led someone to turn back to Allah. That is the unseen power of using social media for benefit. It multiplies in ways you cannot see. And the truth is, you already know this. Deep down, your heart knows that every time you scroll endlessly, you are wasting yourself. But every time you consume beneficial content, you feel something awaken inside you. That is your soul responding to truth. That is your heart remembering its creator. That is your fitra being revived. And yet so many people silence that feeling and go back to old habits, go back to wasting hours on meaningless content, go back to ignoring the truth they know deep within themselves. But the reality is simple. Your phone will either testify for you or against you. Your feed will either elevate you or destroy you. Your social media will either be a blessing or a curse. And the decision is in your hands. Every single day, with every single swipe, with every single click, with every single scroll. Have you ever noticed how much the people around you influence who you become? It's subtle at first. You spend time with someone and slowly, without realizing it, you begin to talk like them, think like them, even behave like them. If they waste their time, you start wasting yours. If they backbite, you find yourself joining in. If they neglect their salah, you feel less guilty about skipping yours. That is the power of company. It shapes you silently, like water shaping a rock over years. And this is why Islam places so much emphasis on the people you surround yourself with. Because whether you realize it or not, your friends are a reflection of your future. If you want to know where you're headed, look at who walks beside you. The truth is, bad company doesn't always look bad on the surface. Sometimes they are the ones who make you laugh the most, the ones you feel most comfortable with, the ones who keep you entertained. But beneath the surface, they are pulling your heart away from Allah, normalizing sin in your eyes, making you comfortable with things that should break your heart. That's how Shaitan works. He doesn't always come to you directly. He comes to you through the people you trust. And once your circle normalizes sin, your heart slowly dies without you even realizing it. Think about it. How many people have drifted away from Salah, not because they made a conscious decision to stop praying, but because their friends didn't pray? How many people have fallen into haram relationships, not because they wanted to disobey Allah, but because everyone around them told them it was a normal? How many people waste their nights in endless entertainment, simply because their friends pulled them into it? And the saddest part is, when the day of judgment comes, Allah tells us that those same friends will turn into enemies. Those who dragged you away from the truth will abandon you. The Quran says that close friends will be enemies to each other on that day, except the righteous. That means the only friendships that will survive in the Akhirah are the ones that were built on taqwa, on reminding each other of Allah, on holding each other accountable, on lifting each other up when the world tried to drag you down. But here's where it gets even deeper. Bad company doesn't just drag you into sin, it robs you of potential. You could have been someone who memorized Quran, someone who woke up for tahajjud, someone who built a legacy of good deeds. But because your circle was full of people who had no vision, no concern for the hereafter, no desire for Allah, you ended up like them. You see, mediocrity is contagious, laziness is contagious, neglect is contagious, but so is righteousness. Surround yourself with people who pray on time, and you will feel ashamed to miss a prayer. Surround yourself with people who love the Quran, and you will naturally start loving it too. Surround yourself with people who chase Jannah, and you will find your own heart yearning for it. This is why the Prophet told us clearly, a person is upon the religion of his close friend, so let each of you look at whom he befriends. That is not just advice, it is a warning. And if you reflect on your life, you'll realize that some of the hardest truths you've ignored are about your own circle. Deep down, you already know which of your friends are toxic for your faith. But you hold on to them because you fear loneliness, because you crave acceptance, because you don't want to be left out. But here's the reality. Temporary loneliness in this world is better than eternal regret in the next. Walking alone on the path of Allah is better than walking hand in hand with people who are leading you straight into the fire. The truth is that every person in your life is either a ladder or a chain. They either pull you higher towards Jannah or they drag you lower towards Jahannam. And you know deep in your heart which ones are doing which. The only question is, will you keep ignoring it? Or will you finally face it and make the hard choices that could save your soul? Your heart is the most precious part of you, the core of your faith, the throne where love for Allah is meant to reside. But ask yourself honestly, what are you allowing into it every single day? Because just like your body is affected by the food you eat, your heart is affected by the content you consume. And the truth is, distractions today have become more dangerous than ever before. Not because they are new, but because they are endless. With a single swipe, your eyes are exposed to images that poison modesty. Your ears are filled with words that darken the soul. Your mind is bombarded with entertainment that leaves no space for reflection. Slowly, without you realizing it, your heart becomes heavy. Salah feels like a burden, Quran feels distant, that feels dry, because your heart is already full, but full of distractions, not remembrance. And this is exactly how Shaitan works. He doesn't always come to you with direct sin. Sometimes he just keeps you busy with the unnecessary until you have no time left for the necessary. He floods your day with noise so that silence, the very silence where you could connect with Allah, feels unbearable. Protecting your heart means filtering what enters it. It means being conscious of what you let your eyes see, what you let your ears hear, what you let your mind dwell on. Because every image you scroll past, every video you watch, every word you listen to, it leaves a trace. And those traces gather layer after layer until your heart is either illuminated with light or suffocated with darkness. That's why some people find so much sweetness in Salah, while others can barely stand through 2 rakas. It's not that one has more time than the other. It's that one has protected their heart from distractions, while the other has allowed everything and anything to enter. The reality is you cannot expect to fill your heart with dunya all day and then feel connected to Allah at night. Your heart was not designed to handle constant noise. It was designed to rest in the remembrance of Allah. Every time you allow distractions to dominate your life, you are ignoring the truth that your soul is starving while your eyes and ears are being overfed with emptiness. And the saddest part, as most of these distractions disguise themselves as harmless. You tell yourself it's just entertainment, or just a few minutes, or just to relax. But a few minutes turn into hours, hours turn into habits, and habits turn into a lifestyle where your heart is numb to the Quran, but alive to the world. You'll notice it when you find yourself remembering lyrics more than ayati, when you quote celebrities more than hadith, when you feel excitement for a new movie, but boredom when someone mentions Salah. That is the silent damage of distractions. They don't break your heart in one blow. They chip away at it little by little until you no longer notice the loss. And yet, deep down, your heart still cries for relief. That emptiness you feel when the video ends, when the noise stops, when the screen goes black. That's your heart telling you, I was not created for this. I was created for Allah. Protecting your heart doesn't mean cutting yourself off from the world completely. It means being selective, being intentional, feeding it with what strengthens Iman instead of what weakens it. Because the truth is, the heart is like a garden. If you don't guard it from weeds, it will be overrun until the flowers can no longer grow. And if you keep ignoring that truth, if you keep leaving your heart exposed, one day you'll find that the light inside has dimmed, and the path back will feel so much harder. One of the hardest realities for us to admit is that our lives already show us what our true priorities are. You don't need to write them down. Your daily routine has already written them for you. What is the first thing you check when you wake up? Your phone or your prayer mat? Where do your hours go? Into the Quran or into Netflix? What excites you more? The release of a new movie or the arrival of Ramadan? The truth about your priorities is already obvious. But most of us choose to ignore it because it hurts. It hurts to admit that dunya has taken a bigger space in our hearts than akhirah. It hurts to admit that Salah has become something we fit in instead of something we build our life around. It hurts to admit that our connection with Allah has slipped down the list while our careers, our entertainment, our friendships, and our desires have climbed up. And so we distract ourselves, we tell ourselves we are busy, we say we'll fix it later, but later never comes. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, months into years, and we keep ignoring the truth about what truly matters. Reality is every priority you make today is shaping your eternity. But if you prioritize dunya, dunya will consume you. If you prioritize people's approval, their opinions will enslave you. But if you prioritize Allah, everything else will fall into place. Yet look at how we live. We give our energy to work, to school, to friends, to entertainment. And when it comes to Allah, we give Him the leftovers. We pray when we're tired. We make dua when we're desperate. We remember Him only when we're in pain. And then we wonder why peace escapes us. Imagine if you treated someone you love that way, always pushing them to the side, only calling them when you needed something, never making time for them. Would that relationship survive? Then how can we expect our relationship with Allah to thrive when we treat Him as an afterthought? Facing the truth about your priorities means standing in front of a mirror and being brutally honest with yourself. What do my choices say about me? Because your actions reveal your priorities far louder than your words. You can say Allah is most important to you, but if Salah is always late, if Quran is always neglected, if sins are always repeated, then your actions are proving otherwise. And this is where most people struggle. They know the truth, they feel the guilt, but they run from it instead of facing it. They drown themselves in distractions, they surround themselves with people who won't remind them. They convince themselves that one day they will change, but one day is not promised. The only day you have is today. The only time you own is now. And deep down, your heart already knows this. That restless feeling you carry, that emptiness inside, that quiet voice that whispers every time you delay a prayer, every time you neglect the Quran, every time you chase dunya over deen, that's your soul telling you, these priorities are wrong. This is not who you are meant to be. Stop ignoring the truth, and the longer you silence that voice, the harder it becomes to hear. Until one day you might wake up and realize that your heart has grown cold, that your life has passed you by, that your priorities were upside down all along. And by then, it may be too late to change what could have been so easily fixed today. Time, it is the one thing every human being is given equally, yet it is also the one thing we waste the most carelessly. Think about it. Wealth is not distributed equally. Health is not distributed equally. Opportunities are not distributed equally. But time is. Every single person on this earth wakes up each morning with 24 hours in their hands. And yet, some people transform those hours into gold, into legacies, into mountains of good deeds that will shine for them in the hereafter, while others allow those very same hours to slip away in idleness, distractions, and regrets. The truth is, time is not just something you affirm. Time is your life. The minutes you waste are not just minutes. They are pieces of your existence that you can never get back. Once a second is gone, it is sealed forever in your book of deeds, written either as something beneficial or something wasted. And on the day of judgment, Allah will ask you not just about your wealth, your youth, your knowledge, but about your time, how you spent every breath, every hour, every day He gifted you. Most of us live as if we have unlimited tomorrows. We delay change because we think we still have years ahead of us. But the reality is, death doesn't knock on your door with an appointment. It doesn't wait for you to finish your degree, to achieve your career goals, to enjoy your youth. It comes suddenly, and when it comes, every second you wasted becomes a weight on your back. Imagine standing before Allah and realizing that you had decades of life, but spent them scrolling through screens, chasing entertainment, indulging in gossip, neglecting Salah, forgetting the Quran. Imagine realizing that the truth was always clear, that your time was your most valuable currency, but you ignored it. The Prophet reminded us to take advantage of 5 before 5, your youth before old age, your health before sickness, your wealth before poverty, your free time before you become busy, and your life before your death. And yet, how many of us waste our youth on sin, our health on carelessness, our wealth on luxuries, our free time on distractions, and our very lives on everything but Allah? Think about the people who have passed away. Every one of them once had the same 24 hours you have right now. Some used them wisely and are now reaping their reward in the grave, while others wasted them and are now facing regret that cannot be undone. And here you are, still alive, still breathing, still being gifted seconds that could be turned into eternal rewards. Every salah you delay, every Quran recitation you postpone, every good deed you say I'll do later, all of it's gambling with time you do not own. Because the truth is, your time is running out with every heartbeat. You don't need a calendar to remind you of that. Your own body is already telling you. Every wrinkle, every gray hair, every ache, Every moment that slips into the past is proof that your clock is ticking. And the scariest part is that none of us know when it will stop. For some, it ends in old age, for others in the prime of youth, for others even before they had a chance to truly live. Time is the greatest illusion. It feels abundant when in reality, it is slipping through your fingers faster than you can grasp it. And unless you start valuing it today, unless you start using it for what truly matters, you will wake up one day and realize that your life was nothing but a collection of wasted moments that cannot be returned, cannot be replaced, cannot be relived. When you finally realize how precious your time truly is, the next question becomes, what will you fill it with? The answer is simple, yet profound. Strengthen your connection with Allah. Because at the end of the day, everything else you chase, wealth, status, followers, entertainment, none of it will stand by you in the grave. None of it will comfort your soul in moments of pain. And none of it will intercede for you when you meet your Creator. The only thing that will remain is your relationship with Allah. And the beauty of this relationship is that it is always open to you. No matter how far you've strayed, no matter how many sins you've committed, no matter how broken you feel inside, Allah never turns away from a heart that turns back to Him. While the world demands perfection, Allah only asks for sincerity. While people may judge you for your past, Allah is ready to write you a new future the moment you raise your hands and call upon Him. Strengthening your connection with Allah begins with the simple acts we take for granted. Your salah, your Quran, your dua. Salah is not just a ritual. It is your private meeting with the Lord of the worlds, 5 times a day. An invitation to pause the chaos of life and stand in front of the one who controls it all. The Quran is not just a book. It is the speech of Allah, a light for your dark moments, a guide for your confusions, a healer for your wounds. And dua is not just a request. It is the purest form of closeness, where you admit your weakness and Allah responds with His strength, where you pour your heart out in whispers and He listens more closely than anyone ever could. These acts are not small, they are lifelines. They are what keep your heart alive in a world that constantly tries to suffocate it. But strengthening your connection with Allah goes beyond rituals. It's about remembering Him in every moment, big or small. It's about seeking His pleasure before making decisions, asking, will this bring me closer to Allah or will it take me further away? It's about letting His remembrance flow through your heart while you're driving, working, walking, or even just sitting in silence. Because when Allah is in your heart, everything else falls into place. Your worries feel lighter, your struggles gain meaning, and your life transforms from random events into a journey toward Him. This connection is not just about the hereafter, it changes your dunya too. A heart attached to Allah tastes peace even in storms, finds clarity in confusion, and feels hope in despair. Think of the moments when you felt completely lost, when no one understood your pain, when the world felt heavy on your shoulders. Wasn't it only when you turned to Allah that you felt a weight lift, even if your situation hadn't changed? That is the power of this bond. Nothing else compares to it. And the truth is, if you ignore it, you will always feel a void, no matter how much dunya you chase. But the moment you strengthen it, the moment you prioritize it, you will discover a sweetness of faith that no wealth, no pleasure, no distraction can ever give you. Because deep down, your soul already knows the truth. It was created for Allah, and it will never be at peace until it returns to Him. At the end of it all, when you strip away the noise, the excuses, the endless distractions of this world, it comes down to one choice. Will you choose the truth? Or will you keep drowning in distractions? Because life will always offer you 2 doors. One is wide, decorated with temptations, glowing with the illusions of entertainment, social media, shallow friendships, and fleeting pleasures. It feels easy, it looks attractive, it convinces you that you're living the life everyone dreams of. But when you walk through it, you realize it leads to emptiness. Your time wasted, your heart polluted, your soul restless, and your future lost. The other door is narrow, quieter, sometimes harder at first, but behind it lies meaning, peace, guidance, and the everlasting company of Allah. And that's the door of truth. The distractions of this dunya will always compete for your attention. Instagram wants your scroll, Netflix wants your nights, gossip wants your tongue, bad company wants your weekends. But the truth is not loud. The truth whispers. It comes through the verses of the Quran, the call of the adhan, the tear that falls in sujud, the reminder that touches your heart, the inner voice that says, "You were created for more than this." The problem is not that the truth is absent. It's that we keep ignoring it, burying it under hours of scrolling, endless notifications, fake smiles, and shallow escapes. But deep down, we know the truth is calling us. We know that Allah created us for a purpose. We know that every breath we take is one less breath left before we meet Him. The question is, will we answer the call, or will we keep pretending we can't hear it? Choosing truth over distractions doesn't mean abandoning life, quitting your job, or living like a hermit. It means aligning your life with what matters most. It means asking yourself before every choice, will this bring me closer to Allah, or will it take me further away? It means using social media as a tool to learn, inspire, and connect, instead of letting it eat your soul. It means cutting off bad company that drags you into sin, even if it hurts, and surrounding yourself with those who remind you of Allah. It means prioritizing your salah over your screen time, your Quran over your gossip, your akhirah over your fleeting desires. This is not about restriction. It's about liberation. Because every distraction you let go of for Allah opens a door to a deeper peace, a sweeter faith, and a life that finally makes sense. And here's the reality. The world will keep distracting you until your very last moment. Shaitan will keep whispering, just one more scroll, just one more episode, just one more sin. You can repent later, but later is not guaranteed. Tomorrow is not promised. The grave is not a distant future. It could be your reality tonight. And when that moment comes, all the distractions will vanish. The only thing that will matter is, did you live in truth, or did you waste your life ignoring it? The Prophet once said that the clever person is the one who prepares for what comes after death. That's the truth we keep running from. The truth our soul keeps reminding us of. That's the truth we must embrace now, before it's too late. So today, right now, make the choice. Don't let your life slip away in meaningless distractions. Don't keep ignoring the whispers of your soul. Don't let your heart rot in neglect while your fingers scroll endlessly. Stop ignoring the truth. Because the truth will set you free, the truth will guide you home, and the truth will be your light when everything else turns dark. Choose it today, and your future, your soul, and your eternity will thank you for it. So my dear brothers and sisters, the time has come to stop ignoring the truth. Enough of letting your soul starve while your screen feeds you lies. Enough of surrounding yourself with people who drag you down while your heart longs to rise. Enough of chasing distractions that only leave you empty while your Lord is calling you to eternal peace. The truth is simple. Your life is short, your time is precious, and your soul is priceless. Don't waste another moment running from what you already know deep inside. Turn back to Allah, choose wisely, and live a life that will matter when this world no longer does. If this reminder touched your heart, don't let it stop here. Share it with someone you care about, spread the truth, and be a reason for someone else's awakening. And if you want more reminders like this, subscribe and stay connected. Sometimes one reminder is all it takes to change a life forever.